All right, guys, last but not least, we have something super exciting that I'm incredibly proud that as ATO we can claim that we're creating that space for the first time in our industry, which is a whole panel with OGs that are running the so-called alternative traffic sources, but for many, it's their main traffic source. I had the pleasure of testing a few of these platforms myself, talking about Applovin and Kayzen, but there is also Newsbreak that is incredibly scalable, especially in the US, and I want to introduce you Katie from Rumble, which is also, I think, the first time coming to an affiliate show, Rumble. Katie is an OG in the space. So Nick is going to be moderating. We're going to have Tim from Kayzen, Maor representing Applovin, Ryan from Newsbreak, and Katie Young for Rumble. Please give them warm applause.
They broke the mold. Give you some more, make you overdose. Damn, look at that, they broke the mold. Give you some more, 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 more.
Damn, look at that, they broke the mold. Give you some more, make you overdose. Damn, look at that, they broke the mold. Give you some more, 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 more.
All right, so this is actually a very important panel for me. So yesterday we talked a little bit about the business that I currently own and we're building, and we get discriminated against from the major platforms religiously. Like I want to donate millions of dollars to these platforms, and Meta and Google are basically just like, nah, fuck you, we don't want your traffic. Your money is not good here, which is weird for them to even say to any of us.
Yep.
So we spent the last quarter to 2 quarters learning and spending actively on Applovin. We're in the process of getting up. It's our fault. The process of getting up on Newsbreak now, and we're looking for different traffic sources to kind of crack some of these areas to spend money. Honestly, we need more distribution channels, and that's just what it is. And I think the group of this panel has a good breadth of like what's happening in the market right now and why they are starting to see more brands come onto the site. Because up until this point, everybody felt like, oh, you just run games, or you do other sort of like apps to push on these channels. So I wanted to kind of start left to right, all the way down to Katie. Is like, why do you think more people are being open to running on different traffic sources? What's your assessment of this?
Well, I mean, I think it goes back to the simple logic of not putting all of your eggs in one basket, starting with this. And then, it's much more than more distribution channels. You want to know if you're not based on or counting on one specific platform, you are able to know, first of all, if this is something that's more, kind of like a wider thing. If something doesn't work, you see it all across, the board. And I also think that it's good for us as advertisers to have that competition going between the algorithms and having the ability to compare.
That's true. What are you saying? Because you have a different viewpoint than most people.
Me?
Yeah.
So I think the underestimated opportunity is that the inventory is massive in gaming, not only in gaming, but in other apps as well. So we're seeing something like 150 million DAUs, daily active users, only in the United States, across all the ad formats in-app, and a lot of that is full-screen video. And that's very similar to what you see on social at the end of the day. And if you think about it, social is in-app advertising, right? Because when you run an ad on TikTok or Meta, that is in-app. But what we do is outside of the walled gardens, and that's kind of an overlooked opportunity.
It's a good pitch. We're already running in-app already.
Everyone is. Everyone
Technically,
is.
yeah.
How do you view that?
When it comes to Newsbreak, I mean, everyone here in the audience is trying to grow their business and make more money. And Newsbreak was a newer ad platform, and the folks that jumped on it early were able to arbitrage that and make a lot of money when there wasn't a lot of competition. And I think a lot of those folks are looking for that new, where's the puck going? And I think Maor here on the app-loving side, one of the early adopters there, and a lot of people trying to follow that. And everyone wants to be a trendsetter as well, and be able to tell their friends, I found the new traffic source, and be able to get the referral credits from that as well. And I think it's a flywheel that kicks off.
Yeah. And just to piggyback off, I mean, if you are putting all of your ad spend in one source, you're fucked. You have to diversify, and if you have the test budget, you have nothing to lose. And a lot of these platforms like Rumble, native ads, anywhere, you want to be able to be malleable in the case some shit happens. So always test and always diversify your traffic sources.
Actually, I think that you and me probably as like advertisers, you know, it only takes that one time in Q4 that you're, you know, again, putting your eggs in one basket and it all falls down. You know, it takes that one traumatic like experience
Dude,
to swear to yourself that this is the last time, you know?
Yeah.
I don't even want to talk about it. Like we lose our ad accounts so regularly.
Yeah.
This is when it popped for me. When I literally took, so we post about this publicly every single month, our P&L of where we spend on ads. In April, we spent 1.1 million on Applovin, right behind, and then Meta was like 1.2. And like, you look at it and you go like, well, why isn't Google growing? Why isn't Twitter growing? Why isn't, and it's like, because I feel like those markets are weirdly saturated. And the misconception people have is like, well, I don't want to create new content for these channels. I don't want to deal with that. So I want to go back from Katie and come down this way is like, you don't actually have to make new shit. You can already run what you currently have.
Yeah, I always say, like, especially if something's working, don't reinvent the wheel. Like, throw that on another source. Usually, you just have to format the sizing if that's the case. But if you're running video, it's pretty much the same ones, and then display as well. So, yeah.
Piggybacking off of that, it's the same thing at Newsbreak. The first question we ask advertisers is, what's working for you now? Depending on what's working with you, as long as it fits our ad policy, it should probably work with our audience as well.
Yeah, I would perhaps say that in the in-app space, you can repurpose what you have, but there are two types of placements. One are like interstitials that are skippable after 5 seconds. So you probably use something that works on TikTok, where like the attention span is super short. And then you have rewarded placements, which you have 30 seconds guaranteed user attention, and you can run ads up to 120 seconds. So you should probably think about the narrative that you build in the video to sell your product around like those two placement types. So I would say for the in-app space, yes, you can repurpose, but you should also be adaptable to the channel.
Yeah, so I think it has to do with like going back to what Tim just said. First of all, understanding that you don't have to make like, you know, new creatives, but you do have to get out of that mindset that says, oh my God, I have to hook that person very fast, because, you know, they're gonna watch a whole lot of your creative at the end of the day. So you're able to catch them on early on. But I do think that there is a difference, going back again to what Tim said about the narrative, when you're comparing someone who is like using an app versus someone who's using a game, you know, you really have to understand where that user is coming from, and because it's very much different than, you know, just browsing a feed or something like that. So.
I think, like, just to throw on that, like, a lot of affiliates I see like having success on Rumble, they have a lot of iterations of what's working creative-wise. So although like you might have something winning on Meta, it's very easy to change a script or a little bit or tweak it and really just test and see what gives you the best click-through rate and like go from there.
And just carrying on,
let's go.
There's a difference between testing a new platform and then mastering it. And you know, when you test, you could find that MVP. How do you get early data back to understand, is this worth my time and energy, to then build out, you know, deeper strategies, sponsored content, end cards, and getting a little bit more creative. But there's an MVP test there. Get that data back and understand, do I want to put more resources on this?
So this just came live from YouTube. YouTube just announced that they're going to demonetize videos that are more AI-based, and they're kind of turning against it. Meta even started to make announcements from the rep side saying, if you are running primarily AI, that isn't like an AI element that Meta is giving you or providing for you, come 2026, they're going to demonetize, or they're going to like have to do a general call out of like, this is AI generated, this is not real. How do you guys view, and this is a question for all four of you, because this is very different opinions on this, how are you going to view the usage of AI? Because from an affiliate standpoint, from a traffic standpoint, having the tools of AI to just make iterations, to make AI avatars, the volume of creativity makes people that don't speak English natively, or don't, because most of the people want to run traffic in America, let's just be honest, right? Most of them is coming our way.
Yeah.
But you don't know how to get those type of people to speak, so that's why we have AI avatars, 11 Labs voiceovers. I'm really curious on how you guys are approaching or wanting to see your opinions of what AI has in-app traffic specifically.
I think it's mostly because the platform, it's so new, you know, so the platforms don't want anyone to abuse it at the moment. So their way is like, hey, you know, let's just, first of all, don't do it, you know, so it's like, don't abuse it, don't use it to kind of like push organic stuff and so forth. With Applovin, since compliance is the biggest thing, and that's why we've had lots of ad accounts go down in the last few months, they are asking for disclaimers on everything,
Yes.
So they just want the user to have the best experience possible. So if you're using AI in any kind of like form, I think it's also best practice to use that on every other platform that you're currently running. I just going back to the white hat versus black hat, talk.
Yeah, I think you got to be a bit careful to not create too many assets, right? Because the systems cannot cope with like you uploading, I don't know, 500 creatives and just thinking that the system will figure it out. So what we usually see is like you should pick your top 5, your maybe top 10 max. You should have them in all the different aspect ratios you need that. So for example, if a user holds their device like vertically, you need a horizontal video and you need a portrait video. But you don't need like 500 of each, because you need a lot of spend to actually make an algorithm learn based on that. So yeah, there is some risk that AI will just inflate the number of creatives too much that people upload.
For myself, maybe I have a different perspective when it comes to the Google and Facebook policy. I would wait for that to get finalized before
Making changes?
the big change to say that you will be demoted in the ad call if you have an AI creative, just because the industry is moving so fast right now, and I wouldn't put all your eggs in that basket. Just wait for things to finalize. We all know how Google goes with some of these public announcements as well. I think one thing that I am seeing unique on the AI side is dynamic landing pages just based on the user. So they're able to identify the user, male, female. Did they come from a app which is talking about weight loss? Or are they coming from a sponsored content article that's talking about weightlifting? And depending on that, the landing page will dictate and change based on the pain point that they expect from the user. And so I think that's one really cool, unique way that I'm seeing AI being used today.
Yeah. AI is scary, right? The stuff you see, I think right now, if you aren't testing with AI creatives or implementing AI technology in your day-to-day, you're definitely will be behind, if not already. So I think, although it's scary, a lot of people are uncertain, I think it's good to be on the bandwagon, because even if it's not the affiliate marketing space, it's happening. So I think be prepared and get in now.
Don't you feel like this is kind of like the war on drugs?
A little bit. It's a little bit. It's a little bit like you're the new kids. We're demonizing you a little bit, and that's how I feel, because I want my team to be more adaptive and do way more of it. But they're all the replies are like, yeah, well, we don't know if it's going to be here or not, and it kind of bums me out. I wish we were harder into doing more AI so we can push the limit to know okay, that's too much.
Well, at least at Rumble, we're actually pretty open with this so far. So we're exploring it and letting advertisers really push the limit or see what we can do with it, because game changer for us in the affiliate space, you bang out your creatives in 10 seconds and you have 50 stuff to go off of.
Yeah,
you don't have to be reliant on UGC.
Yeah, but what Tim just said is very interesting, because new advertisers that are coming into this world with AI this could actually ruin their campaigns very much, because the budget to CPA to the number of creatives ratio that you actually need to spend in order to have the algorithm learn and have
Okay, stay there. Stay with it. So this is the next question: is Meta, they preach more creative diversity, more big, especially after the Andromeda algorithm update. This is a different opinion, going look, these are newer channels, and one of the core questions was what my budget am I starting with? What is a good get me going starter kit if I had to buy it? If I had to ask GBT, it's how do I start on in-app traffic? What's my go-to starting kit?
So for Applovin, you actually need at least 6 creatives in order to have the algorithm.
Diverse creatives or just 6?
Good question. Technically, the algorithm looks at 6 creatives. It doesn't need to be different.
Okay.
It should be. I like starting with whatever winners I have on Facebook, and then start creating iterations and stuff from there.
Primarily video?
Yeah.
Okay.
Video. I am testing on end cards. I'm testing statics versus videos and different types of stuff. And by the way, statics work very good at the moment. But I am trying to get a lot more than 6, because I like, pausing and seeing how I can always, push the algorithm and the whole platform a little bit more. So with Facebook, you need to come up with like the math, like okay, what's the CPA I'm actually getting? How do I get 50 conversions in something like 4 days in order to get out of learning mode into active? With Applovin, to be honest, again, depends on the CPA that you're getting, not your target CPA or desired CPA. I want to get to something like 50 conversions on that campaign in order to feel like the algorithm is really getting dialed in. And then there's like small differences between CPP campaigns, which is the equivalent of highest volume, ROAS campaigns, and CPP with target CPA.
I'm going to come back and ask a question around incrementality to you after I finish this.
Yeah, what goes similar to what Maor said is you shouldn't like throw too many creatives in, because I think Meta is probably a better channel to test creative because they've done that for like the last 10 years.
True.
So whatever you learn there, you can transfer to that channel. You can adopt the creative, maybe make it a bit longer, add a little bit of messaging, but don't try to use it as a creative testing channel. And the second thing is you always got the video plus the end card. So every creative already consists of 2 parts. So if you now think about you have 5 different end cards and you have 5 different videos and you mix and match them, you already have 5 times 5 different creatives. That's 25.
That's good.
So you can get into permutations where just the quantity of different creatives becomes too big to oversee, should keep it
To
simple.
manage.
Yeah, to manage.
So, I mean, the question that you're asking is like how to test this new platform, right?
The safest way to start.
Yeah. What we would recommend is 1 campaign, 2 ad sets, 3 to 5 ads within that ad set. And within these 2 ad sets, you're running both images and video. So we would recommend the static images. It's getting the in-article placement. So as users are scrolling through and reading in article, it's a little bit, we have more of that inventory, so it's lower cost, but then also run in the other ad set of immersive video placement, and that's a little bit more costly, higher engagement, and that's enough for you to analyze what strategy should I continue to lean into. Should I build out my pre-landers and run static images? Should I work with a creative agency? Should I build AI videos and run more immersive video placement? Should I invest money and build out an end card for that as well? And so, a little different.
Yeah, good point, Ryan. Cash is king. Nick, you know that. So I think with us, it's like test budget. You got to have the money, and we would want to know where you've run before and like what's been successful, and then I could help you put together where you can go with Rumble at least. But it's definitely like cash is king. You have to be down to set up a bunch of campaigns, test a bunch of different offers, or if you're a brand owner and you have your vertical, we can just hone in on like what the best ad types are historically from what you've run before.
2 more things to add on that, and like one is about the budget that you're investing. We're all running smart bidding strategies that deal with content recommendation systems, and we need data in order to optimize towards those conversion events that you set with us. And we recommend, for us specifically, 10x the CPA goal for your daily budget. So I think that's like one unique. Yeah, you got to feed it data early on in order to optimize towards the conversion event that you want.
Yep.
So I think combining what Katie said and Tim said, I think that 1, don't come to any in-app advertising platform to test. Come only after you know the offer is working, you have somewhat of an optimized funnel. And the second thing is you need to have cash flow, patience, and be willing to, I wouldn't say lose, because if you know that the offer and product is desirable and working, you're investing, but you know, lots of people are coming from like the Facebook mindset where it's like, okay, I launch, is it working? It's not working, I'm pausing it. If you're gonna come with that mindset into in-app, just don't come because you're gonna lose money.
Yes.
But there are ways to feed data in early on too, and like I think
What do you
Nick,
mean?
we should definitely do this. Implement the pixel on the landing page, set up all the conversion events, and making sure that you're passing back data to Newsbreak from that 1.2, 1.1 million that you're spending per month, so we know what type of users convert with your product. And when you go to launch your campaign, we already have that base foundation, and we can start launching retargeting ads for you on day 1. Maybe a user clicked on your ad on Applovin but didn't convert. Maybe they come onto the Newsbreak platform, they're higher intent, and we know that from the pixel, and we could implement that strategy day 1.
Yeah, that's always been the scariest point. Is like, I'm pulling away budget from the things that I kind of know is already working. I'm like, what do you want to do? Like, I basically go like, I have this much money to give me. how much money are you going to match me? I'll guarantee ad spend. And that's like we kind of come in with a big hammer and go like, we have money, we'll do it, but you're going to need to give me a discount, a credit, X, Y, Z on this. Because it really doesn't make sense. I know predictable, even if I'm not going to get incredible performance on meta or like I just can't get it right, I know what I'm going to get there. And I don't have to teach the team to run a new channel. And that's been the biggest benefit is like having in-app guys to teach us and go like, no, like this is how you need to set this up. So it does need to be hand-holding for some of the mid-tier, high-tier people because even to this point today, I couldn't confidently tell my team to go launch campaigns on all in-app traffic because it's not super accessible. Like there's not many places I can just go buy it myself. I know you have thoughts on how to do this correctly.
Yeah, I would say, I mean, we have a self-serve platform, but we've also learned that most buyers are not accustomed to our platform, and every platform is different, algorithms work differently, what you can include, exclude, how you can target. So the hand-holding period, as we call it, in the first 2-3 months is definitely key to success. And I would say there are very few buyers who come on and they say like, I mean, I see that sometimes. They're like, oh no, we're all good. We're spending like millions on Meta and we don't need any help and any support.
It's different. It's different.
Yeah,
Different.
don't believe that.
Yeah,
It's,
different beast.
It's a different beast.
And Newsbreak has a little bit of a different strategy when it comes to like testing and handholding for the first 30 days. If you come from events or referrals or partnership channels, you work with our onboarding account management team. They hold your hand for the first 30 days. There's an onboarding call and you get like a pitch deck and understand the best practices of how to scale the campaign. And that's been crucial for our success.
I'm nervous about like the actual other people that are buying traffic on it because you go in-app, cool, it's all app traffic. It's just apps. But this whole whole side of the industry is coming towards e-commerce. Do you think it'll go all the way towards not just e-commerce, that's where it currently is now, but to offers and to lead gen, et cetera? Like where do you predict where the in-app goes to? Because it's all consumers. Like everybody is using this.
Yeah. No, I definitely think it's going to open up. It has to open.
It has to.
Yeah, I agree. It's just simple.
Yeah. I think you can compare in-app more to native in a way.
Okay.
Because you got like the open web, you got like hundreds of thousands of publishers. The ad formats are very different because you have full screen video, where it's in native you have like text and image combinations. But in many ways, when you compare like the logic of how the ad is placed and how the publisher diversity goes, you have like you have a lot of similarity to native actually.
I mean, me and Tim were talking about it. We talked like a few weeks back, and I think the biggest benefit with e-com, and you know, both you and me have brands, it's what I call the halo effect. You know, if you get low CPM, low CPCs of high quality, you know,
True.
because you don't want just, you know, clicks or impressions that are non-relevant, you do get that uplift with branded search or organic traffic, Amazon sales, stuff like that, which is very big as well, you know?
No, we directly saw that. Like if TikTok traffic was off and app was on, our Amazon sales stayed pretty consistently higher. If app was off and TikTok was on, it was the correlation from TikTok to Amazon is much better, and we can see that much more impactful search volume there. But both of them on together, like it was just a general lift across the board. It's true. I think it's like an always-on sort of situation.
Attribution is such a hard thing, you know, to measure, but you do see that uplift.
I know, and I still don't have the perfect way of measuring incrementality across running all the channels. One day we'll get there.
We should launch like an automation, something automated.
I wish, dude. I wish. How many of the successful campaigns that you guys are seeing from your vantage points are going like advertorials or like long-form landing page explanations from ad? I'm very curious about this because this is something that our team is wondering, do we need to be more copy-heavy and build more things out?
I can take that one first because, you know, the Newsbreak user in the audience is so much, they're primed for this idea of long-form content. They're coming into our app to consume information and educate themselves on something. So the idea of that advertorial and pre-lander is just going to drive improved conversion rates. But then it kind of comes down to also the creative strategy. And what are you pitching in that creative strategy? And then is that pre-lander and advertorial selling that pain point ultimately to get that conversion at the end of the day? But it's about kind of matching it to the inventory as well.
Yeah, similar to Rumble, we're a long-form streaming platform. So we have a lot of creators that come in and a lot of loyal users that follow them.
Yeah.
So when they come in, they're watching for hours. Sometimes when someone goes live or whatever topic it is, or presidential election, whatever it may be. So people are on for a long time. So you can hit them hard, and you can definitely increase your CPM to hit RTB a lot quicker, I think, with people who are staying on, users that are staying on like long, for the long run and loyal. Yeah.
Yeah, I think on in-app, one of the biggest misconceptions is that like gaming is all teens or gaming is all like young males, and the reality is most people who play games are like middle-aged people, stay-home moms, elderly people at home. So anything that targets these demographics is typically working pretty well. And I think is another reason why I'm making this comparison to native, because when you see what's running on native ads and what's working, it's usually skewing towards older demographics.
Yes.
And a lot of the games, not all of them, but a lot of the games also skew towards these older demographics. And your ads won't show in like a Counter-Strike, they will show in like a Candy Crush saga or a solitaire spider game or brain training or
Candy Crush, yeah.
Candy Crush,
Yeah, that's a good.
and those are older demographics.
I think there's such an overlap nowadays. I don't think that trying to touch the pain point is as progressive of a way of thinking nowadays. I think there is such a big overlap. I think like gambling content overlaps with Counter-Strike content nowadays. It's not like really segmented as much as you think. And I think AI is, if there's one thing that AI is going to completely change, it's that.
Yes.
We see on Applovin that everything that works on Facebook works there, period. It is just like Tim said, it's not like native ads where you go, again, health, insurance, stuff like that. Everything works there, and this is a part of how sophisticated the algorithm is. At the end of the day, it knows how to get those data points. It knows how to match the creative at the right placement, at the right time, and this is something that humans can't do.
I asked this earlier, but this is going to be the flip of it. Is like, what do you recommend people not to do when they're about to get up and running on in-app traffic?
What do I recommend?
What should they not do? Like, definitely don't do this.
As advertisers? Like,
well, so what we did wrong when we jumped on to app in the beginning was we bid 40 to 50 pieces of creative, and we were trying to day trade traffic. That was not how to run.
Yeah, I would say just be patient. Don't make lots of changes very fast. Let the algorithm learn, let it run its course. I remember once James said that he got locked out of Facebook. He could see his campaigns, but he couldn't touch them. And they kept on running, and he said it was very interesting seeing how the algorithm really learns and does everything, by itself. I think making changes to these platforms that are very sensitive is the one big thing I would try to avoid.
That's an ultimate advertising cuck.
It is.
Yeah, I would add one to this is like, don't try to fight the algorithm. I see a lot of people who try to fight with the algorithm, so it's like, oh, I should actually blacklist this because the algorithm hasn't done that yet, and there is a reason if the algorithm hasn't done it yet, and there is more to data than what you may see in like a split by spreadsheet. So try to play with the algorithm, try to talk to your like account manager or CSM to understand the deep like functionality of it, and then make decisions based on that understanding rather than a superficial analysis of I don't know.
You know how many people they got from like their Taboola or Outbrain wrap. He said this is working, this is the creatives, this is the whitelist, that we can run it. They try to copy it and nothing works.
Yeah.
And that's exactly why. Every time you run a campaign, whether it's a new account, old account, the algorithm goes through like a journey. You have to let it run its course.
Yeah.
Totally agree with what both you guys were just saying there. It makes total sense. We see it directly on ourselves.
Yeah, at least with Rumble, like even I always try to tell my affiliates like there's also seasonality on your offers and also competition. So if you're scaling on Meta and someone starts ripping the same offer, they grab the same offer from the affiliate network, let's say AC, like easy e-com offer that hits every summer, right? Like there's probably 10 other iterations of AC or people also running it on every other traffic source. So like I always say like you have to be prepared for like it. The formula is there, but it's okay if it's not hitting right now. It might in a few weeks or in a month, or I'll let you know. If like it's going good, I'll let you know. But I think like everyone's always like, this offer should be working, why is it not? And I'm kind of just like, well, let's break it down. Let's see like, are you bidding high enough? Are you the right creatives or like the right time of the year type thing?
They always get so mad. They're like, it's not me, it's this offer. Like, it's not my fault. It's not a skill issue.
Yeah.
It's a product issue, which is
but at
hilarious.
that point, it's kind of just like tug and pull. But there is a middle ground. Like there always will be, or a way to tweak it.
I think there are two signs in general, regardless of like in-app or social media advertising. Two signs that your campaign is healthy. One, how sustainable is it? Like, how stable and sustainable? Do you have to keep pumping new creatives, create new campaigns, or is it like working outside of seasonality and stuff? And the second thing is remarketing. I think Ryan said, try us for remarketing first. You know, if you have a campaign running, YouTube, search, social media, use us for remarketing to grab on the low-hanging fruit. I think it's if it doesn't work with remarketing, it's not going to work with top of funnel.
Agree. That's a great nugget. I'm going to give you guys each a little bit of time to your last little nugget for the audience. What do you have to say? You already did it. You have more? You're done.
I always have more.
Tip.
Yeah, I would also emphasize the fact that in-app is very much an upper funnel all the way to conversion channel. So unlike Google Search or unlike even Meta, which is really good at grabbing the users that already have intent, you have to create the intent. So you have to start with the story much more up the funnel, and just consider that.
On our side of it, I think there's something that no one I've heard here talk about today, and that's around building our own apps and leveraging things like AI. I'm seeing a lot of utility apps finding really great success. It has a broad reach, everything from VPN to taking a photo of a plant and it tells you what plant it is and how many days to water it. But these are companies of 2 to 3 engineers that are building these and finding massive scale with subscription products. And would like to see our industry pick up more of that and scale that.
Yeah, I think I'll give you guys like a call to action. If you are looking for kind of a long-form video streaming platform, native ad style, video or display, ad placements, hit me up. Low CPMs, high traffic quality. Thank you guys for being here.
Maor, Tim, Ryan, Kate, thanks so much for everything, guys. Thank you for being a great audience.
And look at that, they broke the mold. Give you some more, make you overdose.